Hey everyone, and welcome back. As you recall, a few weeks ago, I did a review on the Limestone Farms Private Stock. Now that bottle is freaking amazing. Without question, one of my favorite bottles this year. And I was able to get 3 more samples of some of their other offerings, and I cannot wait to get into those and see how those are. I'm Tuck, and this is Bourbon Broke. So before I get into these samples, I would like to give a big shout out to Tom Morrow, who is a brand ambassador at Limestone Farms, for getting me these samples. I truly do appreciate that. Now this first one we're getting into here is the Bloodlines. And I guess you could say this is like their entry-level offering. This one right here, this sample anyway, is 98.4 proof. And the age statement, it's a 6 to 9 year blend. The SRP on this is $59.99, and I really don't think you're going to see a secondary on this one out there right now. But let's go ahead and get into this and see how it is. See how it is on the nose. You can tell it's a little bit of a lower proof in that 98.4. Just a slight hint of cherry, a slight hint of cinnamon. Yeah, just a little bit of cherry, cinnamon on there. Not a lot going on in the nose yet on here. Let's see how it is on the palate. I think you get a little bit more of that oak coming through on the palate. Definitely like a lighter fruit. There's a light fruit going on in there. Almost like, I would say, kind of like I'm going to say more like a red raspberry or strawberry. Still a little bit of that cinnamon coming through on the palate. Almost a little bready. Almost a little bready. It's interesting. You know, I wouldn't say that palate necessarily like overwhelms me or whatever, but it's good. And you have to remember, this is, $59.99. It's not, real high. And it seems like these days, as much as bottles have seemed to go up, 59 is not that much to spend on a good bottle. The finish, and again, it's a 98 proof, so it kind of falls off a little bit on that. But yeah, in that finish, I'm still getting like that breadiness in the back end. That's interesting, very interesting. Yeah, this is a decent bottle. Like I said, it doesn't wow me necessarily or anything like that. But I think at the price point for an entry level offering, from a distillery, it's decent. I would probably give this, and I would have to take the price point into consideration as well. I'm giving this one, I give this a 7.8. I'll put a 7.8 on this one right here. So decent start to these samples. Let's see what the next one brings. So this next one is the Select Batch. Now the proof on this jumps up quite a bit more. This one's 111 proof. The age statement is, again, 6 to 9 year blend. This one has an SRP of $99.99. And again, I haven't seen any, secondary or anything like that yet. So let's get into this one, see how this is. Check out this nose. Again, I'm getting like a lighter fruit on this. Just a tiny bit of a baking spice. Decent nose. Again, it's not like wowing me on that nose, but let's see how the palate is. you can definitely tell this jumped up in proof. The last one being 98.4. This one's just jumping up, 12 and a half, 13 proof points to 111. But you can definitely tell the proof difference just in that little bit of a proof point on that. Wow. And where it was more of a lighter fruit on the nose, it's turning to more like a stone fruit on the palate. More of like a darker plum, cherry. I'm getting just a little bit of like that leather tobacco taste that I would get more so in like a double oak or cigar blend or something. And like a little bit of a brown sugar's coming in. Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely some more flavors coming in here. Now I'm getting a little bit more cinnamon. That brown sugar's coming through a little bit more prominent now. On that finish, that stone fruit's kind of still lingering, going back into the finish. And I'm getting, a little bit more oak on that finish as well. Yeah. Now, we're starting to get up there a little bit, up there towards that $100 mark on these bottles. So, you're definitely expecting more. And I know, right now the distillery is sourcing, barrels. So that does drive the cost up a little bit, and I get that. But this is a nice pour. For $100, it's a nice pour. I definitely wouldn't go over that, but I like this. As far as a rating, let's see. I'm going to go, I'll go 7.9 on this one. 7.9. Nice. Let's get on to the next one. So this next one that we're getting into is the small batch. This sample comes in at 111.7 proof. It has a 9-year age statement, and the SRP on this one is $139.99. So we're starting to creep up there a little bit more and more on the prices of these. As far as a secondary, I haven't seen anything out there on that, so let's get into it and see how this nose is. Ooh. Man, I'm just getting like this buttery vanilla right off the bat. That's nice. That's very nice. Definitely getting some oak in there. And I do love me smoke. That's a really, really nice nose. That's really nice. Let's see how it is on the palate. Boy, that has a really, really nice little spice on there. That vanilla, man, that's totally coming through. And I still get that like pastry taste in there with just like a little bit of a baking spice. Wow, this is good. Yeah, getting some of that oak on that palate. But man, that vanilla, buttery pastry from that nose just comes right through onto the palate. It's pretty damn nice. That's a nice proof point as well, that 111.7 makes for a pretty nice finish. Now that finish, I wouldn't say just lasts and lasts and lasts, but it carries on quite a bit. And I'm getting a little bit more of that baking spice on that finish as well. Man, mixed in with just that little bit hint of that vanilla, that buttery pastry, still coming back through on the finish. This one's nice. I like this one a lot. As I say, this is a 9-year. The price is getting up on this a little bit. Again, $139.99. But this is a really nice pour. I like this a lot. Again, this one's the small batch. As far as a rating, I'm going to go, it's creeping up there. I'll go an 8.4 on this. I actually really like this one a lot. So, but that's all of the samples they get on here. But, you know, after sampling these, I'm going to have to go back to the private stock. I'm going to have to go back to that private stock and revisit that and see how that is. Let me grab it and I'll be right back. So again, after just tasting those other offerings from Limestone Farms, I wanted to go back to the private stock just to see how it was and how it compared to the other ones that I just tried. Now, as you recall, this one right here comes in at 115 proof. It has an 8-year age statement. Now, the SRP on this one is $189.99. So we're getting up there, you know, quite a bit, up close to that $200 range. So, you know, I've had some bottles that I paid $200 for that I did not care for at all. I wouldn't give you $50 again for them. But this one right here, it was all worth that, all worth that amount of money. And you know, on the secondary, I remember when I did the episode, it was up to $278 online that I had seen it. You know, I had seen it in stores for $224, but the SRP on this is $189.99. So let's go ahead and get back into this one. Can't wait. I loved this bottle. And that's why. Good Lord. That dark plum, that dark cherry. Touch of honey in there. Man, it's just like cherry cola. That nose is so freaking good. Wow. Get on my palate. Oh. I get excited when I know I'm going to be sipping on some freaking good whiskey. Yeah, I remember that now. You know, this doesn't have any rye in the mash bill, but you still get a really, really good spice right off the bat when you get that on your palate. Man, it's so viscous. Wow. And I get that little hint of coffee in this. A little bit of that, you know, tobacco leather taste. But yeah, I get just a little bit of a coffee in there. Wow. Wow. And now I got just hit with some caramel. Wow. This thing is so complex. You know, every time I go back to this bottle, you know, it seems like I get new tasty notes in it. I seem to get the other ones that I had before, then new ones just seem to creep in there as well. This bottle is freaking fantastic. On that finish, I'm definitely getting oak coming through on the finish. And it lasts. Whew. Still getting that dark fruit coming through on the finish, and man, there's just a little bit of that chocolate coming through as well. This, without question, is one of the most complex whiskeys I've ever had. This is really, really good. No question, this is going to be right up there competing for the, you know, top whiskey of the year. Wow. I know the last time I did the review on this, the episode, I gave this a 9.4 rating. Man, I'll tell you, it's every bit of that 9.4. This might be creeping up a little bit. I'm going to give this a little extra one. I'm just going to go up to a 9.5 on this one. This is so good. Now, the other offerings that they have are really, really good, but this just takes it to the next level. Man, wow. You know, if you don't mind spending the, you know, $189.99 on a bottle, or just splurge once in a while for a special occasion or something, you won't be disappointed in this at all. Yeah, this is so good. Well, that's it for tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did drinking it. If so, please hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything at all, and it truly does help me out. If you'd like to check out some Bourbon Broke stuff, just go to bourbonbroke.com and check out everything on there. And once again, big shout out to Tom Morrow for hooking me up with all of this. I really do appreciate it. That's it for tonight's episode. And remember, keep your friends close and your bourbon closer. Cheers. Frick, that's good.